Happened in December of 2006, sparking calls for action.
6 years later, KIRO 7's Essex Porter investigates and finds the problem will be just as bad next time. Really, Essex.
And this is what we expect to do every day. We just take it for granted. We can pull into a gas station, pick up the pump, and fill up the tank. But whether it is snow or wind or even an earthquake, when the power goes out, gas stations and their customers are out of luck. Ice storm 2006. Trees down. Electricity out. Many gas stations closed.
It's terrible. Should have stayed home today.
6 years later, drivers know it can happen again.
Panic. I think that's the biggest thing. You don't stop at a gas station unless you have a direct need for something, right?
Your car may run on gasoline, but gas stations run on electricity. After the 2006 storm, some said there ought to be a law requiring gas stations to get backup generators, but it didn't get far.
The legislature really didn't have a clue.
Tim Hamilton once owned 3 gas stations. Now he represents 500 station owners as executive director of the Automotive United Trades Organization.
In many instances, if you say you shall have a backup generator or not do business, it will put them out of business.
Hamilton took us outside his rural Mason County home for a lesson in generators. This $1,000 unit can handle a house okay, but doesn't come close to powering a gas station.
When you go to a gas station, you have huge draw for electricity for these very large pumps, large lights, electricity for refrigeration, and it takes a much bigger generator.
So what would it take to power a gas station?
I was chosen to be one of the emergency stations should something happen with that dam on the Green River.
Frank Desimone says Chevron, his supplier a few years ago, brought in a backup power generator and installed the extensive wiring necessary to hook it up to the station.
All these are extra panels that had to be installed to hook to a generator. A large generator.
It's not just the pumps that rely on electricity, so do the computers that run the pumps and collect payment for sales. Plus, Chevron wanted to be sure the convenience store could stay open for people who needed food and water. The price, $26,000 for wiring, an estimated $175,000 for the big generator. Desimone says Chevron picked up the full cost. He certainly couldn't.
But to buy the generator, that's something that you might never use, or you might use it once every 2 years or something. No, I just don't think it's worth all that expense.
There's still room here for the generator, but Chevron pulled it after 3 weeks when the threat of flooding ended.
It's going to happen again, and we are not prepared.
After seeing the gas lines during the 2006 storm, Kirkland State Representative Roger Goodman tried to mandate that gas stations have backup generators. But after objections from station owners, all he was able to get passed was a tax credit to pay for half the cost. The tax credit to help gas stations buy generators was in effect for 3 years, and by the time it expired in June of 2011, only 21 stations had taken advantage of it.
The only thing we can do now is to start this program again with a more generous incentive and see if more gas stations will take us up on the offer.
On Mercer Island, a unique approach. The city bought its own backup generator that it can offer to gas stations. The idea is to make sure first responders can get fuel if the island is cut off.
So that we can go ahead and respond to emergencies, be able to help people.
Then once first responders are taken care of, the public could be served. So Marty Ulrich paid $7,000 to install the necessary wiring at his station.
They're going to wire it up the main hub here.
He's glad the city is willing to supply the backup generator.
They shouldn't force us. They should help.
One of his best customers will be ready for the next storm, electricity or not.
Every week I fill it half up, regardless if it needs it.
And because so few gas stations have backup power, that's good advice for us all. We talked with Representative Goodman's office just before news time and learned that he is still making plans to help gas stations provide more backup power. But we are also told that legislation is not likely to pass until next year.
Well, hopefully we won't have to face a big emergency anytime soon. And Essex, I know your investigation doesn't end there. You know, during our investigation, we learned that state emergency managers don't keep an official list of stations that have backup power. Instead, they rely on web sources to track stations that are open. Now, they gave us the links, and we're sharing them with you on our website.